Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise on the good too. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakudash. Give honor to the apostles, others, great millstones, salutations to the brothers pushing his word in truth and sincerity with charity and risking lives and freedom to do so. This is Brother Yana Guy, come from the great millstone, Chicago camp, coming at you with another lesson. No one's edifying. Quick scripture of the day. You know, Esau's a fucking devil. Esau's so full of shit. They'll sit there and lie, blatantly lie in your face, you know, and swear by it, you know, and that they're telling the truth. The whole time, it's a fucking lie, man. I was dealing with these motherfuckers at work. Had an event at work. There's a lot of people, you know, and these people come from all types. Uh, the outskirts of the city. They're not really city people. Some of the out of town people. You know, so they don't really have that city attitude. You know, these people go ahead, completely lie about some bullshit, little bullshit. You know, and I damn near believed them. And then I just remember, I said, why the fuck would I even believe these motherfuckers? The scripture says, never trust thy enemy. That's the scripture I'm about to share. The scripture that came out. Uh, can't, uh, can't find my spirit when I was meditating, you know, on the situation that was happening over here. And this you like, yeah, hey man, last time you're gonna see me, and hey, once I leave you, that's it, I'm gone. You know, 10 minutes later, these motherfuckers still trying to creep inside the building another way. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just one guy. That was just one example. But there's different fucking accounts, man, throughout this whole night, dealing with these fucking Edomites, man. And they all fucking lied, man. They look like they don't, wouldn't even lie to you, you know. But hey, Esau, hey, you can't even do ground to himself. Who's he gonna do ground to? Scripture talks about how the tender mercies, the wicked are cruel. The tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, man. All right, and Esau give you that bullshit ass little grin, you know, and make the the smile grin and walk past them, but they don't really want to see you. They're not happy to see you. Esau's so full of shit. You know, these are low class Edomites, man. How much more the ones in the higher power that look, go on national TV, you know, and fucking deceive the world with their bullshit, and manipulation. Esau is the wicked. He's the devil. He is full of shit, you know. And if they like you, I remember watching a clip of this Aaron Hernandez documentary, old football player that committed suicide, because he had committed a murder, and it was an Edomite, his coach popped up and he was like, "Hey, Aaron," he's like, if you, I know you wouldn't do this, but if you did do this, you know, I'll pay for all the fees, all the expenses, and get you a good lawyer you up, because there's got to be a reason why you did it, if you did it. You know, Esau is just full of fucking shit, man. You know, Esau got the money. They could manipulate their way. You know, uh, through everything. You know, I remember years back. You know, a judge. You know, Esau done committed some horrendous crimes. You know, less than what Jake would do. That Jake would get life for. You know, without possibility of parole. And then you look at it, Edomite. You know, that fucking lied about every fucking thing, and just say, oh, you know, uh, jail might be too harsh for this individual. Let's just give him probation. You know, Esau full of shit. Never trust thy enemies. You know, I had another situation at work. It was fucking Edomite. You know, but the scriptures, always rely on the scriptures. You know, the spirit's never gonna steer you wrong. You know, and applying these scriptures, you know, had me one step ahead, a few steps ahead, 7 steps ahead of everybody, man. You know, because you know their game, you know they move, you know what the fuck they're gonna do, you know how they're gonna behave. They're gonna do it with a fucking smile. All right, they full of shit, man. All right, the scripture says his words were smoother than butter. All right, I'll get that real quick before I read this one and end it off. This is Sirach 12 and 10. It says, "Never trust thy enemy, for like an iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away." They call Halal Lali how about Shimmy shot, man. You know, because hey, Jake gets fucking manipulated by these fucking Edomites. They just be lying to their ass, man. You see, I see it, man. You know, Jay, I know you brothers see it, man. You know, you have to sell out as Jake's, you know, in the bed with the enemy and selling out their own people, man, making them feel important. You know, this Psalm 55 and 21 says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." You know, hey, Esau is full of shit. Never trust thy enemy. You know, hey, who pity the trauma, you know, bent by a serpent? Esau's a fucking snake. The tongue is a snake. He looks, acts, slithers like a fucking snake. You know, he's a snake. You know, Esau full of shit. You know, but yeah, man, call all y'all busting me outside. You know, allowing them brothers to be steps ahead and not be deceived. Because everyone else is deceived by his bullshit, man. You know, everyone they drunk off his philosophies, man, his ways. You know, and all he do is he tricked everybody to live a death style instead of an actual lifestyle. You know, the lifestyle comes back to the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, so these people they full of shit. You know, never trust thy enemy. These motherfuckers ain't ain't trying to help you. You know, if they do good, they do it unwillingly, man. They don't even want to fucking do it, man. Fuck them. You know, so I'm gonna end it off with that. Lawrence edifying scripture today. So next time, so